film?
Well, I'm old friends with Rachel, so we go back to high school, actually. And yeah, I've been playing music since I was a little kid, and thankfully Rachel and Steve like my stuff enough to, so Rachel reached out, asked me to do it. I took a chance and sent some stuff out, and they liked it, and the rest is history.
Yeah, I think you did a fantastic job. No film, audio. Just the little details behind it that help the scenes, go through it well. I think you did a great job.
Thank you.
From it, what was the hardest scene you had to match music to?
The hardest one is the one that's closest to my heart, and that's the scene where Lanny breaks into the pawn shop to rob it, and he commits suicide in the shop. That one to me was just a really poignant moment in the movie, and I wanted it to really pop. And I feel like that piece, it's sort of animalistic, and there's a real rawness to it that was really inspired by everybody's acting in the scene, not just Rich's, but Steve's and Josh's too. Everybody did such a great job, and it was really inspirational to me to play off of their energies. So I would say that one was the hardest, just because I spent the most time tweaking it.
Hey, great job. I like it. Rich. So Rich, how did you get involved with the movie?
I know Steve's dad, and that's how I, know Steve, and that's how I heard about the casting call, heard about the movie, and he was lucky enough to give me an audition, and it's worked out. Yeah.
Can you guys believe this guy's Lanny Green?
You're looking sharp right now. You're well
Thank you,
dressed.
appreciate you.
All right, how about for yours? But I think I already know this one from reading some of the behind the scenes that Steve gave myself. What was the hardest scene for you to act through?
I would definitely have to say the same scene that he just mentioned, my final scene, my death scene, my suicide scene, for sure, yeah.
Okay. The one I'm thinking of, I know as you wrote from, somebody, this is Bozeman, Montana, everything filmed right here. I'm sure you saw a lot of drone shots through it. But how cold was it for some of those scenes?
Yeah, well, physically, the deal scene was the hardest one to shoot for sure. That was one of the coldest days last year. I think we were definitely below zero there.
That was February, right?
Yes.
Everybody remembers February last year?
When cold snap, and you would think that this was his first movie. There were no warm-up tents or anything, so we had to just kind of grit. Not even gloves. Guy didn't give us gloves.
Yeah.
I didn't get a hand warmers. I didn't get a
I
hand
didn't run in any gloves for Lanny Green. It was -8 with the wind chill, so.
All worth it though. It was fun.
Awesome, great job, love it. All right, can we get another microphone over here? I think this one's a little easier. How did you get involved with the movie?
Well, Steve's my brother, so
Oh my God.
I came in.
But how did you get to play the villain?
We were sitting down, we were talking about this film, and we're like, what's a good twist? And we're like, let's have the villain be a teenage girl. So when she walks in, everybody's like, wait, what? And that's how it was kind of born.
Was everybody saying, what? How's this girl on?
For the record, Jalen is the only one on the cast and crew that has any real acting experience. So
Well,
she was
now.
also a huge.
Everybody's got acting experience
Sorry,
now.
yes, but before that, she was also a huge help in coaching all the actors and making sure that they were really there in the moment and just making sure everybody was staying on top of their lines. So she was more than just the villain, okay?
Perfect. And this one, I know it's a little tougher because you don't have as many scenes in the movie, but from it, is there any scene that sticks out that you enjoyed? You want to talk about more?
Well, the final scene when I walk in, I was very, very sick with strep throat, so I really didn't want to be there, and I'm a very nice person, believe it or not, so it was really hard for me to be like, I hate you.
Working through all of it. All right, nice job. Rachel, And again, it's one of them. Of course, you don't see Rachel on screen and all, but you can't do anything without somebody helping out with all the filming, all the other little details.
Damn straight!
It's true.
What's, Rachel and Steve work together, Single Six Media. They do a great job. Let's talk about how did you get involved? Steve's like, hey, I think we're going to do this.
Well, so a little over a year ago, Steve told me, oh, I'm writing a script. I was like, oh, that's cool. And then like 3 days later, his parents came into the office and were like, hey, we're shutting down the pawn shop. So Steve was like, all right, Rachel, we're going to film a movie in 3 months. Let's go, now. So I was like, oh, okay. So I was pretty apprehensive, but obviously it turned out pretty good.
Worked out pretty good. I mean, we sold out the house tonight. So.
Yeah! And I believe again, Rachel's filming quite a bit because this guy's acting a little bit too. So
So Steve is the director and the actor and the mind behind all the madness. So if you see Steve in a scene, I'm probably the one holding the camera. So, but I was also a body double for Jalen because she's in such high demand. She couldn't be there all the time. She's the real talent. But so I was a body double, and I think I was the dispatcher, the voice of dispatch. So I got that going, and then handling the makeup, I think, was a big job as well. I did all the makeup of the movie. So.
That's one of those, again, it goes behind the scenes, but so much work to help bring this together. Huh? So much work? Hey, you want to talk some?
I didn't do anything.
All right, so we got to see, your backstory, the pawn shop, the family growing up through it. But, putting this all together, when did you start officially writing it?
I worked at the pawn shop for a couple of years, and I sort of took notes on all the strange things that had been happening.
Get that up there a little clear. Everybody wants to hear what you have to say.
Sorry,
Can everybody
guys.
in the back hear Steve talk?
I'm not just a white suit here. Sorry. Okay. I worked at the pawn shop for a few years, and boy, it's just a wild place to work, and there's no really place better. And when Dave came to the pawn shop, wherever he is, where's Dave? Dave, there he is. He came to the pawn shop December 21st, 2018, and he told me, he said, we're shutting the pawn shop down, and I was like, oh, damn it. I had this kind of neat pawn shop movie idea, and he's like, well, you gotta make it. I was like, okay, how long is it gonna take? He's like, well, you got 2 months to make this movie. I was like, oh damn it. All right, well, we'll see what happens. So that was enough of a kick in the pants to make this whole thing, and I just can't say thank you enough to all the people that, made the movie and all the businesses that were able to support this thing, and, all the people in my family that worked in the pawn shop. Y'all know what's going on, so yeah, it's a wild thing.
So I think, one thing I love about this movie is the jumping around back and forth, some of what's action, the plot going on, and then we inject the humor into it. Like, how about getting your son, putting that in the film? With humor.
Dirty
What was he eating again? It was
Loopy Fruits.
Loopy Fruits.
Yeah, we'll see if we can make some stickers. Loopy Fruits.
Don't let us get sued.
Yeah.
But, so what was, out of all the filming though, how about your scene? Which one you're like, it just all came together, you nailed it, is there one scene in particular you're like...
No way. Lanny Green was the star of the show.
Lanny Green.
For sure.
Everybody.
He's making me look good as a writer. And wherever Booger is out there. Booger. There he is.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah, Booger. And Steve was basically just me. So it's all good.
All right, does anybody in the front have a question? You can tell you what person you want through. Anybody? We got a question up here?
I got a question.
Yep.
How long did it take for that kid to look so cute in that scene?
About 2 seconds.
The kid was adorable in that scene.
Yeah, that's my kid. He's pretty cute. Well,
He's a natural.
no,
He's like his
I mean,
mother.
there was like 2 hours of footage. I had to put on the Baby Shark song. So, you'll never know, but yeah, that's
See, there it is. Those little details we're looking for right now. The Baby Shark song. How many times have you heard that?
Well, oh God.
All right, another question. Anybody? Somebody in the back. I think we can hear it. Anybody want to shout out a
Right
question?
there, Bo's got a question right there. Go ahead, Bo.
What's next?
Hey, you gotta wait a little bit on that one, man.
Chill out, Bo.
If Steve starts a movie in the next 6 months, I'll quit.
Hey, I thought Jay's backstory was next.
Again, if Steve starts a movie in 6 months, I'll quit.
Baby J.
Well, one, we got an easy answer to what's next. The after party at the Baxter Lobby. That's tonight. What's next?
Yeah, who here has the free drink tickets? Yeah, Patrick up there, he's got a free drink ticket.
After that, the next what's next is 2 weeks. We're going to take it to the Emerson Theater. And a lot of that, again, everybody, it starts with your help that's still watching it. You know, you're here listening to this. I think it's a great film, but promotion, we need, if you can like this, you know, any social media that you see it out there, talking to your friends, be like, hey, this film came out of Montana. It's pretty cool. It's something different. You know, there's some humor. There's there's a plot to it. You know, we can only do so much to the cast, you know, producing for it, marketing for it, but we appreciate, again, your support here, but even going outside, if you could tell a friend or follow, share any of the social media, we sure appreciate it. And there we go.
I guess it sounds like this is the first time for a lot of you, whether it's acting or making music or doing makeup, and I guess.
How'd you tell?
I'm curious to hear what is your biggest either takeaway or lesson or surprised you, or just what's the thing that stands out when you got home?
Okay, that's a great one. Now, let's go down. Let's get Max involved in here. I'll pass the microphone. We'll come right down.
That's a great question.
Max, hold up a second for the back. The question was, you know, all first-timers going through for a featured film, what can you take from this, you know, experience, you know, the build on? Max?
Yeah, this is my first movie that I've ever done, and I didn't really have any roadmap to follow. I've made albums and songs, and I just threw a lot of stuff at the wall, and I learned kind of just a lot about reading emotional cues, and I learned a lot from reacting, and a lot of the music that was written is just all improvised. I literally wrote it while I was watching the movie and just set up a whole thing, and just slowly over however long it's been, just it kind of amassed into this beast of music that exists now. So yeah, I think I just gotta trust my gut more. I think that's what I took away, is that, you know, as long as you're trusting yourself, things can't really go wrong. So
He's just that good.
I'm going to say you're a talented guy. Lovely. Good job. Right?
My biggest takeaway is that I want to do this again and then again and then again.
Oh, we're going to do a sequel? Another one?
Well, obviously I'm going to need a prequel.
A prequel? Yeah.
Rich, even in -8 degrees?
What's that?
Even in -8? Is it
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
I'm all in, for
Famous
sure.
last words.
No, I absolutely loved it, and I know coming in I was definitely a bit nervous, not having any acting experience, and the crew at Single Six was just amazing. They really were, and maybe it's because we were all kind of in it together for the first time, most of us anyway, but it was just a really comfortable environment, and one that was perfect for a first timer. And I loved every second of it, so I'd love to do some more. Steve, what's next?
I think the biggest takeaway from any theater project or film project is the community that comes out of it. We just ask people, we're like, hey, you want to be in our movie? And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And they put in so much. And while we might all have 1 or 2 credits up there, we all did so much to make this happen. And I think that's the most incredible part, is that we all came together for this one vision, for Steve's vision, and made it happen.
this story came out of something that Steve had to force out in 2 to 3 months, and then so that meant we had days to get filming permits in the city of Bozeman, and days to get the police department lined up with us, and it was just constant communication with all of our actors and cast and crew and everybody involved. And so if you have the opportunity, my recommendation is to take your time, plan it out, and make sure you've got your T's crossed and your I's dotted, because there's gonna be something to pop up at the last minute, and if you can, just try and be prepared for it.
That's great.
I don't cross any T's or dot any I's, but I plan on making some more movies, and I hope you all come to it. And I hope you guys enjoyed it.
It's 9 o'clock. We'll take a couple more questions. Anybody else? We got a couple?
Yeah, hey.
Yep.
So if we want to rewatch it and or share it, how do we go about doing that?
Great question. We're working on that as we speak.
Netflix!
This is step one, and we're going to see if any distributors will have us, and then
There's a couple film festivals.
absolutely there's
Planning for those.
6 film festivals in Montana. So if you see us in there, vote for us, and hopefully they'll have us. And if not, if nobody likes the movie, we'll just put it on Netflix or YouTube for free. We got that going for us. Or at Town and Country. Town and Country.
Yeah, I think right now, again, it is seeing that the film festivals, they have different requirements. So that's why we're doing some, we're looking for some feedback. The next step, 2 weeks, we show it again, create more generation, what's going on. And we'll, like I said, maybe somebody will pick it up and we can see how big we can go with this.
Yeah.
I saw my hand right back here. Yep.
Did the detectives have a written script?
No way.
Did the detectives have a written script? That was freelance, right?
Scott and Bob Manuka, those guys, boy.
Are they still here? They already go to the party. Where are they at?
I see him. I see Scott. We had time constraints that they had to hit, and we had a few points that they had to hit. Other than that, I think that's all what you would get if you were getting interviewed by Scott and Bob. So it went well.
That's one, that whole process, that was in the Bozeman Police Department. It was at a real interrogation room. What was that like trying to get that, the film there?
I mean, I started sweating. I don't know about Ty. I got interrogated for about 18 minutes and didn't break at all.
I felt like I was guilty of nothing.
Yeah, Ty thought he was guilty of nothing over there.
I don't know about guilty yet. What's going on?
I don't recommend it.
All right, some other questions here?
Oh, way up top.
Let's go up top.
Booger! Yeah.
There was an empty chair there. They didn't know as I was talking more, I was going to stand and walk around, so we filled it.
Finally. Thank you.
How about some of Booger's scenes then? How scripted were they versus just act and be a little nutty?
Well, first off, his name was Booger, and old Josh there decided that his name was going to be Booger
Because he hates me.
because, I don't know, he was Booger in that moment. So, Josh, take it away.
Yeah, as far as the writing goes, me and Steve did a lot of working together because most of our conversations are together. So it was a lot of ideas flowing, and then we'd go to film, and sometimes we'd change some stuff up. I just wouldn't say that my name was Booger on film, so it was definitely Booger.
All right, some other questions?
Real quick though, I mean, who in here thinks that old Booger could take a bobcat? Anybody? Come on! Who thinks he couldn't take a bobcat? Y'all are
Okay, what was your question?
That was really cool. I got to meet an actual bobcat, and I was actually more afraid than I thought I would be. 'Cause they're just wicked quick.
What was his name? Billy? Billy the Bobcat?
Billy the Bobcat?
Yeah, Billy.
Naked Animals Montana?
Animals of Montana.
And Sarah Martin, she brought a snake to us in about, 4 hours. We call her, we're like, do you have a snake? Yeah. All right, bring it. It happened, so.
All right, let's get a couple more right here.
How long does the script take to write?
Script writing. How long did it take you?
Unfortunately, it was only 1 month, because then we had to start filming the movie.
We did write a lot of scenes as we filmed.
Yeah, Kevin Moriarty. Where's he at? There he is. Kevin Moriarty, Dave Curry, these guys, they helped kind of evolve the script and the characters as we kept going, and pointed out some plot holes that didn't make any sense that I'd come up with. And we really found a lot of the characters and the plot lines as we went. So Kevin Moriarty, Dave Curry, those guys.
Okay, next question. What do you think? I'm going to take 2 more, and then we're getting a whole picture, right? Up here with the cast and crew.
Yeah.
Up top? How much equipment did we have to make the movie?
We bought this big, ugly boom microphone. Other than that, we had everything because we make these pretty sweet wedding videos. So, Single Six Media, if you're interested in some wedding videography or commercial videography, we got your back. But apparently we can make a movie, so.
Yeah, so how many different cameras would you say are going on here?
Our main equipment was a Sony A7S II was our main shooting rig, and we also had a A7R, and then we bought a blimp and a boom mic to go into that. But other than that, it was pretty much flying by the seat of our pants. We had a on-camera Rode mic that we used quite a bit, and then for the indoor scenes, we just used a standard light kit.
Okay, what do you think? One more question?
So, how much energy did your character take out of you while you were trying to portray him?
Well, since I was dying of strep throat, it took quite a bit out of me. And I think with every character, you have to put so much of your heart into it, and you really have to give it so much more, especially for the darker characters like Lanny. It's not easy to play those roles. You really have to go searching, and I would imagine that took a lot.
Well, we got to hear your side here. Let's get it.
Yeah, no, honestly, a lot more energy than I expected for sure. After a full day of shooting, especially those darker scenes, my final scene, kind of shutting Lanny down and going home to my wife and kids, who didn't know kind of where I was at mentally, to kind of shut that down and become a positive father and husband was a challenge. It left me very, very tired at the end of the day, especially some of those dark scenes. Honestly, yeah, I'd get home and get Lanny's clothes off immediately, shower, really long shower, and just try to get my head right and go back to the positive everyday living. Yeah.
It's a lot of work for sure, and I mean, I kind of volunteered to do this part, and I was thinking this will be a lot of fun, but it's a lot of work and a lot of effort on all people's parts, and you're really supported by everybody in the cast, and you definitely don't want to let anybody down. So I mean, you saw everybody bring everything they had to try and make sure that the performance was good for everybody. So.
And how's both sides run everything? Come on, Steve. Let's hear some of yours. Acting, directing.
Somebody else was supposed to play Steve Dirks. I don't know if you noticed. I was just supposed to be the director, but everybody else, I couldn't believe how. I mean, we had probably 3 people who had legitimate acting experience. And after you watch the movie, I don't think you realize that only 3 people had real acting experience. So I'm just so proud of everybody, not even just all the people up on the stage here. I mean, half the people in this audience, I think, were in the movie? Maybe? Maybe? Yeah, okay. So it's amazing how, with just the right motivation, that people can play, some crazy version of themselves, and all the support that we got in the community. And as far as people go and businesses go, I couldn't imagine a better place to make a movie, off of no money. So I don't think you would have known it nearly as much. So I'm just so proud of everybody. Hopefully we can make a sequel.